Good morning. Let me begin with a simple question. What do you want? Not what your job wants from you, not what society tells you to chase, not what your parents hoped you'd become, but you. What do you really want? Most people don't know. They think they do. They have goals, they have lists, they have dreams, but they haven't stopped to ask themselves the deeper question, why? That's where the law of attraction begins, not with a vision board or a mantra, but with clarity. See, too many of us believe that success is about hustle. Just keep working harder, longer, faster. But the truth is, effort without direction is exhausting. It's like rowing a boat with all your might while never checking if you're even facing the right way. The law of attraction isn't magic. It's not wishful thinking. It's the discipline of alignment. When your thoughts, actions, and values line up, something extraordinary happens. You begin to move with purpose. And people, opportunities, even luck, it starts to find you, because clarity attracts. We're taught to chase titles, not causes. We're told to be realistic, not idealistic. But realism is often just fear in disguise. And the law of attraction punishes fear. Why? Because fear narrows our focus to survival. And survival mode is never a place where great dreams are born. The law of attraction isn't about pretending life is always good. It's about deciding that something better is always possible. It's about looking past circumstance and anchoring to vision. Let me explain how it works in the real world. When you're clear on what you believe, you communicate differently. You walk into rooms differently. You interview differently. You sell differently. Why? Because people don't buy what you do. They buy why you do it. And when your why is clear, it resonates. That's the law of attraction at work. It's not the universe doing you favors. It's your mindset filtering the world so that you see, and sees, what matches your mission. Let me give you an example. There are two candidates going for the same role. Both are smart, qualified, driven, but one walks into the room thinking, I hope they like me. The other walks in thinking, I hope this aligns with what I'm here to do. One is seeking approval, the other is offering value. One is attracting stress. The other is attracting synergy. That's the difference, and it's a difference in mindset. We've all been around people who seem to draw others in effortlessly. It's not charisma. It's conviction. They don't need to prove who they are. They know who they are. That kind of clarity is magnetic, and here's the good news, it's not reserved for the chosen few. It's a skill. It's a discipline. And it begins with getting brutally honest with yourself. What do I believe in? What do I stand for? What am I willing to walk away from? The law of attraction rewards courage, not comfort. It honors authenticity, not approval. It works not when you're pretending everything's okay, but when you're willing to grow, especially when it's uncomfortable. Now let's talk about visualization. This is often misunderstood. People think visualizing success is about imagining yachts and dream vacations. That's not visualization, that's fantasy. Visualization, when done right, is the mental rehearsal of purpose in action. It's about seeing yourself do the hard things, not just the fun things. It's picturing the phone call you don't want to make, the meeting you're scared to lead, the rejection you're going to learn from. Why does this work? Because the brain doesn't distinguish much between real and vividly imagined experiences. When you rehearse courage, clarity, and consistency in your mind, you train your body to follow. That's the law, that's attraction, not magic, neuroscience. But here's the catch. You can't attract what you don't respect. You can't attract a great partner if you don't respect yourself. You can't attract meaningful work if you treat your own ideas like they're disposable. You can't attract abundance if your mindset is rooted in scarcity. We must become the kind of person who would belong in the life we want. That doesn't mean being perfect. It means being intentional. It means aligning every choice, every day, with the person you say you want to be. If you want peace, stop engaging with drama. If you want growth, stop chasing comfort. If you want love, stop settling for attention. It's not easy, but it is simple. Now, let's talk about patience, because here's the hard truth. Attraction doesn't work on your timeline. You don't plant seeds today and eat fruit tomorrow. And if you're constantly checking the soil, wondering when it will grow, you're not nurturing your vision. You're doubting it. Trust is part of the process, and trust doesn't mean doing nothing. It means doing the right things long enough. That's where most people quit. They think it's not working, but what they really mean is it's not happening fast enough. The law of attraction doesn't reward speed. It rewards alignment and consistency. You can't microwave mastery. So what should we do? Start with vision, not goals. Goals are endpoints. Vision is direction. Your vision should be so clear that it pulls you forward when motivation runs out, which it will. Then build habits that honor that vision. Speak like the person you want to become. Act like the leader you admire. Think like the problem solver you wish you had on your team, because when your identity shifts, your results will follow. And finally, surround yourself with people who reflect your future, not your past, because environment is more powerful than willpower. If you're constantly around negativity, fear, and gossip, you'll attract more of it. But when you surround yourself with people who challenge you, elevate you, and call out your greatness, suddenly your standard rises. That's attraction too. So let's bring it home. The law of attraction isn't about wishing harder. It's about becoming clearer. It's about aligning your beliefs, your words, your actions, and your relationships with the life you're building. It's not a shortcut. It's not a hack. It's a commitment to clarity, to courage, and to consistency. So the next time someone tells you to just think positive, don't just smile. Ask yourself, what do I truly believe? What am I consistently practicing? And does it align with the person I'm becoming? Because in the end, you don't get what you want. You get what you are aligned with, and that's the real law. Clarity is the foundation of the law of attraction. Without it, everything else crumbles. You cannot attract what you cannot define. Most people spend their lives chasing vague desires, success, happiness, love, without ever stopping to ask what those things actually mean to them. That's like setting sail without a compass. You might move, but you won't arrive anywhere meaningful. Clarity is what gives your thoughts direction and your actions purpose. When you know exactly what you believe in, what you value, and what kind of impact you want to make, you begin to operate from a place of strength. You stop reacting to life and start designing it. Think about it this way. Imagine walking into a crowded room full of noise, distractions, and mixed signals. Now imagine that you're wearing noise-canceling headphones tuned into a single clear message. That's what clarity does for your mind. It filters out the distractions and aligns your focus. You begin to notice people, ideas, and opportunities that support your direction, because your brain isn't overwhelmed by everything else. It's not magic, it's selective attention, but it feels magical when it works. This is the reason people who have strong convictions seem to attract others effortlessly. It's not because they're louder or smarter. It's because they're clear. They know who they are and what they stand for. That certainty is rare, and people are drawn to it. They want to follow someone who knows where they're going. When your message is clear, it resonates. When your energy is aligned with a deeper why, it speaks louder than any resume or sales pitch. But clarity doesn't happen by accident. It requires reflection and honesty. It means asking yourself difficult questions. What do I truly care about? What kind of life do I want to create? What does success look like for me? Not based on what the world tells me, but based on what actually fulfills me. Most people skip this step. They're in such a rush to achieve that they never pause to align. And that's the problem. Achievement without alignment leads to burnout. You get the job, but not the joy. You win the game, but lose your sense of purpose. Clarity is also what gives you the courage to say no. When you're unclear, you say yes to everything because you're afraid of missing out. But when your vision is sharp, you don't chase, you attract. You don't try to be everything to everyone. You become deeply rooted in your purpose, and that allows the right people and opportunities to find you. In a world full of noise, clarity is your competitive edge. It's not a luxury, it's a necessity. Because when you know exactly who you are and what you want, life doesn't happen to you. You happen to life. And that's when the law of attraction truly begins to work. The law of attraction is often misunderstood as simply thinking positively until something good happens. But the truth runs deeper. It's about how your mindset shapes your experience of reality. What you believe, how you think, and the lens through which you view the world fundamentally alter what you notice, how you respond, and what you attract. Your mindset is not just a passive background process. It's the filter through which all information is processed, and it determines what stands out to you. When your mindset is rooted in clarity and purpose, you naturally start seeing possibilities instead of problems, patterns instead of chaos, and opportunities instead of obstacles. Let's take a practical example. Two people can be in the exact same situation, say, facing job loss. One spirals into panic, focusing on scarcity, rejection, and fear. The other sees a chance to pivot, learn, and move towards something more aligned with their passion. The facts are the same, the external reality hasn't changed, but their mindset, the story they're telling themselves, creates a completely different experience. That story determines what actions they take next. And those actions determine what they attract into their lives. That's not wishful thinking, that's psychology, that's neuroscience. That's how the law of attraction actually works. It's not about denying reality or avoiding hard truths. It's about choosing what narrative you attach to those truths. If your mindset is constantly focused on what you lack, you'll naturally seek out more evidence to confirm that belief. This is known as confirmation bias. It's your brain's tendency to validate what you already believe. If you believe the world is against you, you'll subconsciously look for ways to prove that. If you believe opportunities are everywhere, you'll find them, because your mind is now trained to scan for possibility. That's why cultivating the right mindset is foundational. It's not a motivational gimmick. It's a practical tool. When you carry a mindset grounded in vision, courage, and responsibility, you start to attract experiences and people who reflect those same values. You begin to walk into rooms differently, not seeking approval, but offering value. You stop chasing validation and instead become a magnet for meaningful connections. That shift in posture changes everything. But mindset alone isn't enough. It must be aligned with action. Thoughts matter, but they must be backed by movement. The law of attraction is not passive, it's proactive. You don't just sit back and think good thoughts. You pair belief with behavior, you visualize, and then you act. You prepare for the life you're asking for. And when your actions match your intentions, that's when the world begins to respond. In the end, your mindset becomes your reality, not because the world changes, but because you do. You interpret, respond to, and create differently. That's the true power of attraction, not luck, not fantasy, but the alignment of belief and behavior. When your mindset is rooted in possibility, purpose, and perseverance, the right people, ideas, and opportunities start showing up, not because they weren't there before, but because now you can finally see them. You can't attract what you're not prepared to receive. That simple truth sits at the heart of the law of attraction. So often, we fixate on the outcome, more money, a better relationship, a bigger opportunity, without ever asking if we're ready for those things. We ask for growth, but we resist discomfort. We ask for love, but we haven't learned how to love ourselves. We ask for success, but we carry the habits of someone who is still playing small. The law of attraction doesn't give you what you want. It mirrors who you are. And if you want more, you have to become more. This isn't about pretending to be something you're not. It's about aligning who you are today with the version of you who belongs in the life you're trying to create. That version of you thinks differently, speaks differently, moves differently. They have a different level of discipline, self-respect, and intentionality. The life you want requires you to grow into someone who can carry its weight. And growth, real growth, doesn't happen in your comfort zone. It happens when you decide to stop settling for what's easy and start practicing what's necessary. Becoming what you seek means taking full ownership of your development. You don't wait for confidence to show up, you build it by keeping promises to yourself. You don't wait for opportunities to knock, you prepare so that when they do, you're ready. You don't just hope for a great relationship, you become someone who can sustain one through communication, boundaries, and self-awareness. This kind of personal responsibility is uncomfortable, but it's empowering. It puts the power back in your hands. You stop waiting to be chosen and start becoming undeniable. There's a powerful shift that happens when you begin to identify with your future self. When you stop saying, "I'll be successful one day," and start asking, "What would a successful version of me do today?" That mindset pulls your actions into alignment. It forces you to raise your standards. Suddenly, you're not just interested in change, you're committed to it. You start showing up differently. You don't engage in drama because it doesn't match your vision. You don't make excuses because your future depends on execution. You're no longer trying to attract something outside of you. You're drawing in what reflects what's already within you, and this is where many people fall short. They want a new life, but they're unwilling to let go of the old identity. They hold on to habits, environments, and beliefs that are comfortable, even when those things are incompatible with their goals. But here's the truth. You can't carry the past into the future and expect transformation. Something has to give, something has to evolve. The law of attraction is not a tool to bypass the work. It is the work. It's about stepping into the version of yourself who already lives the life you're building. And the moment you start thinking, acting, and deciding like that person, the world begins to respond. Not because anything magical has changed, but because you have.